You are listening to the Estheticians Earning More podcast with Brittany Hageman, episode number 161. Welcome to the Estheticians Earning More podcast. On this podcast, we talk about how to love your esthetician business without the hustle, exhaustion, or overwhelm as it booms into a successful business. I teach simple ways how to approach your business that gives you your life back while still growing a profitable business. I grew BLH Beauty in San Diego to a 6-figure business, and I learned a lot along the way, which I'm excited to share with you here. So let's get started. Do you want to make $100,000 revenue in your esthetician business? If so, I would love to show you how. I want to invite you to coach with me in my one-to-one coaching program. It's completely customizable. The way that it works is we sit down and figure out what you've been doing in your business that hasn't been working, and then make a very specific plan that I help you follow over the course of 6 months to get it done. We meet weekly for 30 minutes and discuss exactly what went well that week and we're going to do next week, whether it's your pricing needs to be raised, or you need to have boundaries with your clients, or if you need to learn how to sell skincare, or you need to niche down and you're doing way too many services and not making money, or all of the above. Whatever the issue is, whatever the reason is you're not making money, we'll figure it out together, and we will grow your business into a really profitable business that's sustainable, that you love, and that really helps people. I cannot wait to be your coach and to work with you. To learn more, go to the link in the show notes. And with that, on with today's episode. Happy Monday. Welcome back. I am so excited to have you back today on the podcast. I say this occasionally, but I should say it more often. I am so grateful if you listen. Thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me. I know that there are a number of you that listen weekly, and I feel so grateful that you trust me with your business and you come and listen every week. So I just wanted to say that again to you. So thank you. Today's podcast is a really great podcast to piggyback on last week's episode with Brittany Wood. If you haven't listened to it already, it was number 160. And she talked about how she was networking, how she worked with influencers to grow her business, and how she went literally from 0 clients to being totally overbooked, full, needing a wait list, trying to figure out what to do with all these extra people. So I wanted to talk to you, specifically you, if you heard that episode and you were like, yeah, Brittany, that I did that. I've done all those things that she mentioned and it didn't work. So that doesn't work. And I want to ask you this question. Why does it work for Brittany and for so many of my clients, but and other people who aren't even my clients who've just done this in their business, right? Obviously, if people have successful esthetician businesses, they've done a form of this in different ways, right? Which is talking to people with their business, sharing it online, all the things. If you have tried it and it hasn't worked, why do you think that you're so different than my successful clients or those out there that are doing well in their esthetician business from like a booking and selling perspective? And I really wanted to think about like I think, and I see this a lot with my clients, and it's one of my favorite things when clients feel this way, because it is literally a mind block. It is not an actual thing that the reason they haven't gotten the clients, or if they have gone out in the world and talked to people or tried different things and it hasn't quite worked yet, or it hasn't worked, it's not because of them. They are not the special unicorn. You're not the special unicorn that these networking marketing principles don't and can't work for. I have yet to find that to be true. And I talk to a lot of people on a regular basis, people who are my clients, people who aren't my clients. I really want you to think about why you think you're the problem. in your business. You're the reason why people aren't booking. People don't know about your business. And sure, if you're not talking about your business, that is obviously a you thing. Yes, I want you to take responsibility for getting out there and talking to people online and in person. That for sure is 100% your responsibility. And you need to own it and you need to do it. But if it doesn't work the way you expect it to work, or doesn't work as quickly as you think it's going to work, and you blame yourself as that you are the reason it's not working, I just want to tell you that's complete thought error. Yes, there may be definitely ways that you can explain what you do differently and learn to connect with people differently and better, for sure. 100%. That definitely is an element. But that is not the reason people are not booking. You are not the reason people are not booking. That's just not true. Again, you could improve on things, sure, but you're not the reason. Okay. So what do I mean by that? And I've talked about this a lot on my podcast in different ways, but I wanted to make an episode that I was really crystal clear with you on how your belief that you are the reason for why these strategies do not work is the reason why the strategies do not work. Because you believe that you're the problem. So as long as you continue to believe that you are the problem and you're the reason why these things don't work, you will continue to be the reason why these don't work. I know I feel like this is very you have to maybe sit and listen to it again, right? You are going to prove yourself right one way or the other. You prove yourself right as you're the reason why it's not working, or you're the reason that it is working. So if you're to prove yourself right one way or the other, why don't you prove yourself right that you are the reason it is working? And it can work, and it will work. Like I've shared before, when I started my acne business, I did have some facial clients that came and came regularly for their facials and helped me pay my bills, which was really great. They themselves did not have acne. They did actually end up referring people to me, which was really helpful. But I had to start from basically zero with acne clients. And I was already in my 30s. None of my friends really had acne. I think I had a friend that still had acne, like me, kind of. And it took her over a year to reach out to me and ask me to look at her skin because she was very nervous about it interfering with our relationship if it didn't work for her, right? So I did not build my clientele from my friends. Now that's different depending on what you do. If you do waxing or other things, it can be an easier sell to your friends and family. But if you do something like advanced skincare treatments or acne or pigmentation or something that is a bigger investment and is a more specific type of person, it can be harder, and I put that in quotes, to get those people refers from your friends and family. But here's the thing. I could not shut up about my acne business. I was so proud and excited about it. And everyone in my vicinity knew that's what I was doing. And I was looking for acne clients. And I was going to help people clear their skin. I talked to them on social media all the time, my personal pages, talked with my friends all the time. There was no doubt in anyone's mind who came in regular contact with me that this is what I was doing. One of my very good friends was my hairstylist. She was so supportive. She talked about my business to all of her clients. And I think only one person out of the 3 years that I knew her came in. So I really want you to think about it as there isn't a person or a thing or a specific way you are going to get all of your clients. You have to do all of the things. So for me, referrals were really important. Creating a program that people could easily understand and identify themselves with was super important. So when they came across my Instagram my marketing, everything that I was doing, it was like, oh, I want to do this. This is for me. That was super important to me, to my business growing. And word of mouth. So, and I also at the time, and I said this before, I did Instagram ads. They aren't what they used to be. They used to be much more effective and easier to run for cheaper. I'm not saying you still can't do it. I don't teach it because the way I did it doesn't exist anymore. But you still can. Some of my clients do run ads and they are successful. But just because you run an ad doesn't mean you're going to get 5 clients from that. Hopefully. But sometimes they just follow you on Instagram and then they're going to take more time of being exposed to you and learning about you and learning what you do to book. It may take them 2 months, it may take them 2 days, 2 weeks. We don't know. But the problem that you're having is that you think you're special, that your marketing's not going to work because you're not good at social media. You're not good at talking to people because you're shy. So it's you, because it is something about you that isn't going to ever change. And so forth that you cannot have a successful business, right? Like, there it is. You figured it out, right? But I'm here to tell you that's a complete and total lie that you're telling yourself. What if you believed, let's say that you are not super tech savvy. What if you believed that you put out a lot of content about what you do and how you help people and the results that you get people and the way that people understand and relate to you, and other people who are on social media who are not, they're not 20 years old and they don't care about all the Instagram trends or Facebook trends or whatever, and they're just there looking at their kids' pictures and their, people they know in their life, and they also follow you and they see your stuff. They don't care if it's the same standard as the esthetician influencer that you know and look up to. They don't even know that person exists. They are just interested if you can help them. But if you are allowing yourself to believe that you're so bad at social media and nobody wants to see what you put out there, so you don't put anything out there at all, you put something out and you get 5 likes and you're like, this is ridiculous, no one cares, I'm going to delete it, or I'm going to not post again for 3 months, then you're proving yourself right that that's the case. That is your result. But if you're like, 5 likes, great, 5 people saw it, that's amazing, I'm going to put out 5 more things in the next 2 days. I'm just going to keep putting out more and more information. The chances of you getting 5 likes again, probably good. Maybe even 8 or 10. But if you don't keep putting things out there, you're not giving yourself time to see what's working. You're not giving your clients time to get information, or potential clients to get information and decide they want to book with you. Same thing with talking about your business. Maybe when you first meet someone, you don't mention that you're an esthetician. It doesn't really come up. It's like you barely kind of spoke to them really quickly in passing. Like I've met moms at my daughter's preschool and passing, like, hi, I'm Brittany, nice to meet you. This is my daughter, or whatever. I'm not in that same conversation. Oh, I'm also if I still had an esthetician, I wouldn't be like, oh, I have an I would wait maybe the next time I saw that person. And we started talking a little bit more. And like, oh, yeah, your daughter plays with my son. Oh, that's so great. Da, 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 da. What do you do? Or do you work? Or like, then I asked that question and like, oh, yeah, da, da, da. How about you? Oh, yeah, actually, I'm an esthetician. I specialize in acne. I help people with clear skin. Right? So you see that progression of that relationship building. I have a neighbor, my daughter, his name is Todd. We always talk about Todd because he's single and he's like lots of cars and bikes and motorcycles, and he's unicycle. He's very eccentric and very engaging, very nice. If I open my own acne business back in Georgia where I am, which I'm not doing currently, I would tell Todd. Todd works at Costco. Todd sees lots of people. He's a little eccentric. I don't really know much about his personal life besides that he works at Costco, right? I found that out from talking to him. I would 100% tell Todd and give him like a bunch of cards and be like, hey, get your phone out. I'm going to have you follow me on Instagram so you can tell people. Like, I would totally do that. And again, I'm not friends with Todd. Like, he doesn't come over to our house and like have beers with my husband. Like, we're not like friends, but we have a relationship. Like I would go over and ask for milk. He asked me for a bike pump the other day for one of his bikes, right? My other neighbor, I'm in a townhouse, and if you're watching the video, I'm pointing to both sides. My other neighbor, they just moved in. They have kids, and so I was like super excited to talk to them because I always want more friends for my daughter. And they were not very interested. They kind of like looked down and like barely waved. Okay, I would not go over to them and be like, "Hey, guess what? welcome, and I have a business." I still would try to get that connection of just knowing their names. That relationship is much newer. They don't seem even that interested in saying hello to me. So I would fill that out there, and I wouldn't go up in their space and try to get them to book with me because that would not probably be a successful conversation. But this is just regular talking to people. And I know you're like, I'm really shy. I don't talk to people. But you do talk to people. You do. You don't just sit and talk by yourself every day, by yourself, and you speak to nobody. And if that's truly the case, then you need to have a job where you don't talk to people. Like having a business is talking to people. So if you are shy, use that as your superpower, not as the reason why you're not being successful. And I'm going to say not being successful as like, I'm putting that in quotes because that's not true. Just because you've talked to 10 people and told them about your business and you haven't gotten any bookings, it does not mean one of those people isn't going to refer someone to decide to come in themselves. It does not mean that. I know that's what you think it means because that's the reality is you've talked to 10 people and you have yet to get a booking from those 10 people. But you don't know what's going on in their lives. Maybe they forgot that you told them. That is so likely. Our lives are so busy. Like, I get my bangs trimmed every like 2 to 3 weeks. And I try to do it around my husband's schedule so that I have more time. And it's always chaotic. When I used to have bangs before, when I first met my husband, my best friend was my hairstylist. And so it was like very easy to get my bangs trimmed from her. And I also didn't have children. But when I reached out to my hairstylist to get my bangs trimmed, which I need to get them done, and she just texted me saying that she can't see me till next week, which means I'm going to have a side bang probably the next time you see me. It's not because I don't value her and how I think she does a great job in my bangs. It's not because I think her products are too expensive. It's not because I think anything negative about her. Nothing to do with her. The fact that I have not gone in to get my bangs trimmed, which I need to do. It's something that I need to do. My bang and my hair grows very fast, and then I'm not able to see in my eyes, right? It's 100% about me why I haven't come in. It's nothing to do with her. If it really has something to do with her, then I wouldn't go back. But I really want you to take your self out of this equation as being part of the problem. Not to say, again, we can't improve. And if you need to improve, that's what I help my clients do. But even more than improving the way they talk about their business, is improving your confidence around your ability to talk about your business and knowing it's not going to be perfect and it's not going to always be a Instagram post, a booking, a conversation, a booking. It sometimes does. And those days are wonderful. They're just like, that was so easy. I should always be like this. But it's your business. No one else in the world is thinking about your business as much as you. No one else is washing their hair or thinking about their business, your business, like getting up the first thing, the last thing they go to bed, right? Like, of course, it seems so important to you that, of course, you send them a link to book on Instagram, and of course they would book because they said they were interested. So if they didn't book, that must mean something about you. And again, maybe there is something that's confusing, but most of the time they will just ask you, right? I cannot tell you how many times people have asked me about my acne program when I did acne and about my esthetician coaching, then I do esthetician coaching. I get DMs frequently. and I send them information, 9 times out of 10, it's crickets. And I don't ever hear from that person again, or I don't hear from them for weeks or months later. It happens all the time. I never expect me sending a link means the next thing I know, I'm going to have a discovery call from someone to work with me, because that almost never happens. It's happened a few times, more actually as my acne business than it's happened in this business. I think it's happened once or twice so far in my esthetician business, but it's almost never happened that way. They look at my links, maybe they forgot, maybe their dog started barking and they realized they were late for something, maybe their client walked in and they had to close their Instagram really fast. Maybe they were about to book and then they needed to check their schedule with someone to make sure something else was happening and they never came back to it. I mean, there's so many things that could happen. And sometimes I follow up and sometimes they say, oh my gosh, thank you for reminding me. And sometimes it's still quiet and I just let it go. I've had people tell me recently, I want to work with you. We've had a discovery call. Let's go, Brittany. I'm so excited. Amazing. I send them the information to start. Nothing. I email them like, hey, do you have any questions? Nothing. Sometimes I hear back from them in the future. Sometimes I don't. But if I made that mean that something was wrong with me, I would never try again. Because I would be so consumed with the fact that that particular instance didn't work the way I expected it to work, versus maybe they really want to, and then things in their life change really dramatically and they just haven't gotten around to telling me. Like, they have to move, they broke up with someone, their kid, they have to find a new daycare or new something. I mean, people's life circumstances change on the instant. Things happen. We don't know, right? There could be so many situations where someone said they want to work with me face to face and then they don't sign up and they ignore my emails or they don't respond to them. There could be one of the reasons is they changed their mind and they don't want to tell me, they don't want my feelings. It's probably likely. Another reason could be they have lots of different circumstances that have come up that they are dealing with or focusing on, and me and my coach sheet is the last thing on their mind. And it doesn't mean I'm not a great coach. I really want you to think about that you are not any different than my successful clients that have been on this podcast or other estheticians who are making money. You are not any different from them. If they can do it, you can do it. I can do it, you can do it. I started as an esthetician. One of the reasons I decided to work for the woman that I worked for when I first became an esthetician was because she didn't sell products and was not all in her focus. It was just like she did a bunch of peels and I wanted to learn how to do peels and stuff. And extraction. She was really good at extraction. She taught me. I was so excited that there was no like sales goals for products because I did not want to sell products. I did not want to. I was so burned from working in Mary Kay. If you haven't gone that far back my podcast, it's one of my first episodes about how I used to be Mary Kay beauty consultant. I was so relieved that it was never like, hey, Brittany, I noticed you had 10 clients this week, but you didn't sell any retail. What happened? Like, there was none of that. I was so excited. So I went from that to selling almost $50,000 in product in 1 year. I learned. I was willing to try. I was willing to work on the confidence that I needed to be okay with talking about products. I had to work on talking about products in the way people understood. I had to work on talking about products and realizing people may say no, and I mean, be an awkward conversation. I had to work on all of those things, but I wasn't special. I'm not a natural salesperson. I'm not like a person who could sell ice to someone in the North Pole, sell ice to Santa, right? Like, that is not me. That is actually my sister. She could do that. She's an incredible salesperson. I've never been that way. I was actually very shy for most of my life until I became like a teenager. but I learned. And sure, there are some people who they have those natural skills, and so it's not even an issue for them. It's like not hard. Like social media for me was not super hard. It was definitely vulnerable, but it wasn't hard to do. Once I figured it out, it was like I just had to like not look when things didn't perform and make it mean anything about me. I had to just like work on that. But I don't have any qualities that you don't have. You are smart. You are resourceful. You have perseverance, right? Like I really want you to think about the qualities, or you can develop these qualities. If you tend to not have perseverance, you can develop perseverance. But if you opened your own business, you have perseverance. You are a smart person. You are capable. You would never have opened a business if you weren't. The desire wasn't there. So you have it in you. You just have to decide that you're not going to let yourself hold yourself back. You're not going to let your lack of confidence in yourself and your lack of confidence in your abilities to prevent you from getting your goals. People are out there in your community that really, 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 really want a service from you. They can't stand their lash artist. They are miserable with their acne. They have age spots that every day they look in the mirror and hate. So that is your motivation to go out and find people who want help. And maybe you're not talking to them directly. You're not talking to someone who has acne directly or someone who has age spots directly. But people are out there that you can talk to that know people. And if you've talked to them and they haven't responded, talk to them again. And if they genuinely tell you like, oh, like, sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you with that because of whatever, let it lie. It's okay. Not everyone's able to help you with your business. But there are going to be more people than you expect. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let me think of who I know. Actually, my friend's cousin's daughter's friend, right? Oh, do you have a car? Let me, So that's the work it takes for you. And then following up next time to that person, hey, did you give my card to so-and-so's friends, daughters, neighbors, kids, friend, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to be uncomfortable again and follow up with that. Because nobody else is going to do that work for you. Not your clients. Even if you have the clients, like you have 10 clients that are just obsessed with you, they may each tell one person that actually comes in, and that would be amazing, but you need more than that. So you have to do that work. You have to post on social media and get 5 likes or 0 likes consistently and just keep going, because the alternative is just not doing anything. And you're not for sure not going to grow by not doing anything. Okay? That's it. You got this. I want you to really listen to this episode and let it sink in if this is resounding with you at all, because you are not special that you can't do these things. That's not your specialty. That you're so special that it won't work for you. You are so special that it absolutely will work for you. You have special things in you that makes it work for you easier than other people. And I want you to figure out what that is and go after that really hard. Okay? Have a fantastic week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Hey, if you like this podcast, please rate and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. I cannot tell you how much that helps my podcast grow. So you can click 5 stars if you like it and you want to give me 5 stars. And please leave a review about telling me why you like it so that I can help other estheticians grow their business. Thank you so much.